Hello and welcome back to that Eurovision site. Today we are quite belatedly talking about this year's Sámi Grand Prix. For those who don't know, it's sort of like a national final, but it's a bit different. It was held in Kautokeino in March, late March of this year, and we all watched it and enjoyed it. So we're going to talk about it.
Hey,
But firstly, we'll talk about there are two sections to Sámi Grand Prix. There's the song section and the traditional joik section. First of all, what did we think of the joiks?
I I mean this is my first time watching Sámi Grand Prix. I did not really know what to expect. I had mostly just listened to the song entrance. But like I found the yoiks really like interesting and moving, and it genuinely, it was just such a lovely moment to be just sitting there watching this in total. you know the ones that really stood out to me as somebody who has no real knowledge of this art at all. I mean, I know that's partially why Sami Grand Prix exists. um I really liked Martin de Gaukskum's one. I thought that was definitely probably my personal favorite because it was just really just like lively and bouncy and really cute. I love the way she kind of just like invokes this kind of picture of her son, and like in the intro video you see her just like her son just like ballsing it up for her. It was just a really really fun yoik. And I kind of really saw something quite like different in it. um I also really like John Stonefire's performance. I think he's obviously like a veteran of SGP, and just like he's just having a good time on that stage.
Yeah.
And you know, isn't it like his first ever time he went on that stage, he just forgot all the words and just walked off or something like that. You know, it just felt like a really accomplished performer. And again, coming from absolutely no background on this, it really stood out to me as somebody who like really knew what they were doing on that stage. Pass over to Ben.
Yeah. So, you talking about you liking her kids in the postcard. Literally, one of the first things I have written down in my notes was cute kitten postcard. Also, I have multiple times written down cute doggo, good boy, because there's a lot of really
Oh
cute
yeah.
dogs in these postcards.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Um, on this, I'm just gonna go in general for all these. It's gonna extend into the songs. My God, was this such an NRK production? Every
Yeah.
staging, I could be like, oh, this is they just took this from MGP this year. Yep. All the laser effect that multiple of the yoikers had. That's literally like they just started using this with MGP this year. Because I was in Gota's performance and God, Green Light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in both their performances, and then NRK just took it over for Sami Grand Prix. You could tell they're the ones like the big producer of this show. Also with the ridiculously too long postcards. I like the postcards. They're nice. They tell a story. If I could understand them, it would probably be a bit better. They are long. They're the same length as Melody Grand Prix postcards. And yeah, you could just tell NRK was over this. All over it. Not like they were tired of it.
Mm.
They're actually putting in money. Because like I've watched Sami Grand Prix for since I haven't I started watching since like the revamp when they got the new stage and NRK actually started to put good amount of money into it. And I've gone back to watch 2016, where it was just on a stage in a theater and looked like Una Voce per San Marino. No budget, essentially. And now that they actually have a budget, it's gone up a lot in quality. Um, my personal favorite yoik was the sixth one. Lavre, I'm not going to try to pronounce these names because I am bad. He got second though, and he was my personal favorite. I actually had the first and second places swapped. Um, yeah, I think they had good pitch. Some people were. I don't know if that's in Yoik they care too much about being pitch perfect. It's just my Western pop music background on that's just it hits my ear immediately if someone's like ever so slightly off because I'm a musician. I'm picky about those things. But they were pretty good and competent. I like their staging as well. The laser effects from Gotha that NRK just loves to use nowadays. If it doesn't really cost money, if it's just lighting, NRK loves it. Yeah, that's the gist of my thoughts. Very competent performances. I don't want to say competent as like a derogatory like I use sometimes. They were very good. I'm not the coming from the United States and what we have done to indigenous people, I'm always very hesitant when commenting on indigenous things that I don't know much about. So you can see my hesitancy here from the US background on they've been through enough. I don't want to insult anything.
Yeah. I think
sorry,
my
I just want
thoughts...
to add to that and just say that like I was really transfixed watching all of them, like just being able to just like sit and watch and take it all in. It just felt like I was watching it with my friend Jess, and she felt she was like sitting there going, "This feels like really just like a precious moment." And
Yes.
you know, to be able to just like put that into music is a great talent, and I think I genuinely just felt that with all of them.
It's all very emotional, and you could very much see that.
I think practice is a great way to put it. I especially think that there's a really big diversity of the type of person who is in those jocks as well. You've got like the old guy in John Stonefire. You've got both men and women. Lava is 23, which I'm sure if you like stereotypically think of like an old like cultural thing, you're thinking like elders. But no, he's 23. He won the song for one a couple of years ago. I think it's great that all these people are showcasing their culture and how diverse Sami culture is. It's not just one homogenous blob. And as for particular ones, I think both of the Marats, Inga Gopskam and Ravna, were just really lovely, dedicated to both to their sons, but in very different manners, which I thought was they were great. They were lovely, very emotional performances. And I need to agree with Ben that you can tell NRK is involved and the the effort they've gone into because they have in the past just left it to have no budget, but they've recognized that this is a show that deserves a budget. And the production it's gone into, all of this happening in what is basically just a local village hall is just insane. And you would never be able to tell if they didn't like mention it. Because having watched most of the national finals in Eurovision this year, there have been some crap productions. I think Sámi Grand Prix, which is in essence a, just something a lot smaller, is had such a great production, and it's the least that it deserves because the joiks are great, and as we'll get into, so were the songs. I'm seeing some very fanatical nodding, so I think we'll go to you first,
Yes.
Kittens.
I mean, you know, as I said, first year watching, like I've gone back and like watched little bits of stuff now. But this was my first year watching it, and I don't quite know what I was expecting for the songs. I think I was expecting more like Hananuti's ones. And the one that stood out to me, I mean, this is gonna be no surprise, but it's Native. I'm gonna say that wrong, but oh my god, I think I came like screaming into the TES server, just like screaming, going, what is this? This is amazing. Um, I still on my playlist. Yeah, gonna be listening to that one for a while. What a banger. I think I can probably credit that for most of my like hook into SGP this year. But like it was just great to see something like really unexpected, and like I think the performance was really good, and like it was really engaging. I just loved the way it was done. Like I enjoyed a lot of the songs, but I really liked this one. Um yeah, I think, being able to see something like that and see a really like modern uh take on it. I know people will be like, "Oh, why do you have to make it modern to make it acceptable and stuff like that?" And I don't think it is that. It's just seeing something a little bit different from it, and you still got the kind of more traditional kind of songs from it. You've still got like by Cecilia's song, which is like a low-key tech banger anyway. Like I'm really enjoying that, but like Inga My Blind and stuff like that, much more kind of traditional offerings, which is what I was kind of expecting more of. And to see this kind of like, you had a really good mix in the entrance for the song contest this year. Um, there was one song which I really disliked. Oh, I don't know whether to go into it, but it really kind of just rubbed me up the wrong way. And that is in peace. Just I couldn't. It just still makes me feel just a little bit like weird. It's not for me. It's not for me. Let's put it that way.
I'd say it's not particularly for me either, but one thing in his interview with the host after it, he said everyone should listen to Lule Sami synth pop or should have the opportunity to listen to it. And
I know.
whilst it by far not my favorite song,
I feel like
I get his point.
I feel
And
like I don't mind the song as much as I dislike the performance.
oh, the
I
performance
think
Oh, it's
was
the opposite for me.
the
the performance was
staging for
the
me
performance was weird, yeah. But
yeah. Anyway, sorry, Ben,
I
you
I especially liked him saying that because he taught himself a language, which I think was great. And but saying that it was my last place, but I I think as you said on a modern thing, it's good that it's modern because it's showing that Sami music it is more than
just one
Hey no
thing.
no. It's more than the ethereal ballads because Sami culture is alive, and you wouldn't criticize like Melody Festival and for not being all traditional, not all being all traditional Swedish songs. So why would you criticize Sámi Grand Prix for the same thing, basically? Because realistically, Native Vinci is Sami culture because it's changing with the times. I think when you came in screaming about Kakashi, you said, "Hey, you're like Inga Maya Blend." Yes, I did. But and
I was like, sad girls in
yeah,
SGP.
but once you get beyond that, I had such a hard time. Like still don't think I've mentally ranked like second through fifth because it's just
Mhm.
that they're all really good songs in their own way. And I remember Kittens because I didn't watch the show live because I was at a concert. She tweeted out my second favorite one, and I had no idea who that would have meant because so for the entire time I was watching, so I was like, did she win? Did she win? Because I knew who her first place was and probably her last, but other than that, no. Because Sivu was great and Quite Kittens coded. By Cecilia was great and Quite Kittens coded.
Hmm. Still
So
on my playlist.
yeah, And
Right, it's a good running song as
It
well.
is.
Really good running song for the gym.
and I would like to say I would like to see some of these faces in mainstream national finals if that's something
Yes.
they are up to, because they're good enough. All of
Mm.
them are good enough.
I've been screaming into the ether that Ingemar Galbuso, she won a couple years ago, and she's Finnish, and she's I think the first Finn to win in the song section. Put her in UMK. Like she has a great voice, and her music has been very good. Why they like UMK just doesn't do it for some reason. NRK seems to be the only in MGP, the only one really featuring Sami music, with the exception of SVT, and that's usually just Jon Henrik Falgren.
Well, SVT,
We
obviously,
did
they've
have her
really,
noticed sister this year.
yeah,
Yeah.
they've really started to push
Yeah.
on this.
It's nowhere near like NRK's level though.
Oh no, but
But
you
we
know,
did get Melfest cards.
we got Melfest cards.
Yes.
They were on Melfest. We had, you know,
Natalie was she came in during the what's his name? The Fredrik Schempa during the melody. She did Norsken.
but she also did Melfest weekend this year.
Yeah.
So that was really cute. I still have my SGP gum packet. Genuinely, this is a genuine thing. There we are.
Also,
Yeah,
great
this
branding. Can we say the imagery? Gorgeous.
Yeah.
yeah, really pretty. But yeah, so we had Natalie Carrion and what's the other presenter's name? It's gone out of my head.
Ollie Madrigal.
Thank you. But they were both at Melfest weekend, which was really nice as well. So you know, clearly they're trying to like push it a bit more. You know, obviously we had like voting in the Melfest app even.
And
Yeah.
it showed on the Melfest app as well.
Yeah, so you know, they're obviously trying to push it a bit more, and you know, I kind of thought that they were going to try and push it a bit more so that SGP artists would appear at Eurovision.
I think it
I
maybe.
hope so. Because the only like Sami artist we've had at Eurovision is from 1980 something. And kind of.
And I was really disappointed that in Eurovision this year we did not. I know whether that was the artists declined themselves, we will never really know.
I'll say that the one Norwegian winning the song section probably didn't help that.
I know, but still, you would have thought that they would still, considering the Northern Lights theme of the branding.
Yeah.
Up until like the week before, I was hoping for a Jon Henrik Fjallgren medley.
It just seemed like a weird decision for SVT to suddenly get into, well, not suddenly, but like get into like SGP and then it not be on Eurovision, because I assumed that was linked.
Yeah. Also, the whole like keeping united by music. What's more united by music than like showing the roots of your country's music?
We had more about Finnish culture in the Swedish Eurovision than we had about in Swedish.
Well, the thing is also Sami culture expands that entire northern area. There's the reason like all three of the main broadcasters showed this show. So we can hope for a Finland win, but or I think if we might get something Sami if Norway wins in the future. I don't have faith in Finland, judging by my Finnish friends' reaction to how their country treats the Sami. Not good. And so yeah. Maybe if Norway wins, we might get some integration, but not much. I will agree, all the songs are this is probably my best song group that I've liked since the revamp. Since Ingemar Galbuso won. I think that year was like 2021, I think was very good. This is probably my second favorite. I am with you, Daniel. I like a sad girl. Also, my comment on Ingemar Blind was Portugal outfit. Her outfit was very much the Portuguese flag. It was the orange and green. And it was like, that's Portugal. But yeah, that's my general comment. I can't really rank too much because it's all really good. And then, yeah, I think we all agree on the last place.
Do we? We all agree?
And Norris, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
It was very much an MGP. They put this in there as the filler song. I would
Yeah.
see that performance. Also, Sivu, their performance was such an MGP performance. When they came out with the pink wigs, the silver lame, and the pom poms, I was like, "Oh my god, this is NRK budget!" Like,
Yeah,
it was the pom poms for me. It reminded me of the woman who came out in MGP that one year with the dress made of pink wigs. I'm so sorry, I don't remember your name. That was a hideous outfit and a horrible performance, and I think you probably know it, but the song was good on the studio track.
Yeah.
That performance was horrid. But Sivu, you did good. It was a great song. What was with the pink wigs and the pom-poms?
Yeah, I do agree. It did feel very MGP, which is a very good thing. And
at least it's not very una voce. Like,
yeah. This could have gone a different way.
One thing I want to mention is the hosts themselves. I thought, especially Natalie, were great. I think I don't know how much hosting experience she has, but I would like to see a lot more of her.
Have her host Melfest or MGP one year.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I think she's Swedish because SVT they didn't caption her when she was speaking. So I was like, okay, she's speaking Swedish, but like she'd be a great Melfest host.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she did a little bit on the like pre-shows for Melfest.
Yeah. And it's like I think that might be them testing the waters with her to like do that. Could she handle a whole show? And she definitely can.
For sure, yeah.
I would love to see her. I think, to be fair, I think both of the hosts were really good.
Yeah, very good.
And they had a lot of like kind of, character, and they were quite, if this is your first time watching and all that kind of stuff, kind of, taking you through it bit by bit, which was really nice to see in a show like that for me personally, who is an absolute beginner at it. So I really enjoyed the two hosts a lot.
And I think I caught you during your rewatch, and you said, "Oh yes, indigenous bastards," or something along those lines.
Yes, that was a great interval.
Yeah, really great interval. I'm still baffled as to why they weren't in like live in the studio.
And they could have been on tour or something, and
honestly,
it's a quite remote part of Norway to get to. Honestly, you can't just easily land at the airport.
No, but
you can't with a big plane if they have one. I'm not sure.
It was still a great interval. I don't know what I was expecting, but
yes.
Oh yes,
I want that.
That was great.
When I was rewatching yesterday, I was like, that is a Kittens song if I've ever heard one.
Oh yeah. I just genuinely wasn't expecting to find like such me-coded stuff in this, to be honest. Like I will definitely be watching again and going back through some of the like back catalog that are available, because I think I've really had like my eyes open to this as a show, as a concept. And that is the point of this, to kind of showcase Sámi music and Sámi culture, and to kind of get that word out there. And you've just got some just absolutely outstanding performers here and absolutely outstanding talent going on here. And I just I will be back to watch another year, definitely, for sure.
And that's bring some of these guys into the main shows, especially the Swedes. Like, especially the Swedes, because they were more than half.
Yeah.
4. There's 4 out of the 6 of them were Swedish. Bring them into like Melfest, please.
I think especially because their go-to Sámi guy has said he's not doing it anymore. So there's a spot open now.
Hopefully more than one spot.
Yeah.
I mean, also you could really see somebody like Native just like
Yeah.
turning up, doing like a rap bit, or
And I
like
think they
a
could go
bit
at
into a
least to
track,
second
at the
chance.
very least. You know, even if they weren't performing just as an artist on their own, you know, as a featured artist even would be, you know.
Also, like getting a golden ticket to their national final at minimum would be nice as like a winning prize. If they won it, like a right of first refusal, if you want to go to MGP or Mello or UMK. UMK I get a bit less of because it's always just 6 artists. But if Finland just really tries to send a great song every year, that could also work.
I'm mentally going over like who they could feature with in my head, and the best I've come up with is Andras Rimpi and Uji Brandelius.
Oh, that would be a great pairing, to be honest. I'd be here for that.
That would be amazing.
Also, Indigenous Bastards. I don't know if they're Swedish or Norwegian. Put them in one of their national finals.
They're great.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, put them in both. Why not?
Yeah,
we've had Norwegians in Hellfest.
Yeah.
Like
that genuinely stunning interval. It reminds me that I really need to go back and listen to the more stuff because it was just stunning, great, no notes.
Great show overall.
Yeah.
I think it goes to show how great it is that my main critique is there wasn't enough of it. Because it was a relatively short show. I felt for maybe the first time watching anything ever, they could have padded it out a bit. Maybe I'm tempting fate here, but I
don't tempt NRK. They will.
They could
or
have
SVT. They will.
Good. Because this is something that could be padded out, and I would be perfectly fine with that. Because a lot of people just drag on with their padding it out, but I think this went too quickly because I loved every second of it. So why not have more? I think maybe like a second interval act or something at least.
Yeah, I mean, was there not a second? Did I make that up?
There might have been.
Indigenous Bastards was between the joiks and the songs.
Yeah, and then wasn't there another one? Did I make that up?
Maybe.
It wasn't something you specifically remember, but I vaguely remember seeing something else. I can't remember what it was. But I just think, like, you know, if their mission is to kind of showcase Sami culture and showcase Sami music, that you're doing a great job, sweeties. Keep going.
Yeah.
You're doing great, sweetie.
You're doing great, sweetie. You know, just, I mean, you can probably comment, Batten, as a long time watcher, whether this has just been getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
It has.
Yeah.
You can tell NRK has been putting more money into it, and now that SVT is caring about it, hopefully it can get bigger.
Bigger.
It used to be literally just NRK with SVT and YLE helping. Now that they did the Mellow integration and stuff, I'm really hoping SVT helped put more budget, because it very much seems NRK is forefronting most of the money for this, and they're having budget cuts. So
even as someone who hadn't watched it before, you could tell it just because I saw that Inga Mai Blind she was in it a couple of years ago. I couldn't find that performance, but I searched it from this year. Tons of videos of them and stuff. Tons of media promo. They're going in, and that's a great thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, keep going. This is working, because you've got 2 English people and an American watching the show, and you know, even on the night, watching the Twitter timeline, you know, there weren't any obviously national finals on. Nationals final season was over. People just tuning in because they'd seen other people talking about it. So it is, you know, it's beginning to reach an audience, you know, that is, you know, out of the ordinary, maybe. So
So unless we have any final comments, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow That Eurovision site on just about any social media platform you can think of. And be sure to check out That Eurovision podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.